Is Nick Bosa off limits in a potential Deshaun Watson trade? I know we've talked about this before, but it keeps getting brought up, and people have very passionate opinions. So where do you stand on this now?
I don't think anyone should be off limits necessarily in a trade unless it's Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce, where you are, you're a winning team and you're consistently in the Super Bowl. Why trade those guys that are winning there? But Bosa, I would not trade for almost anyone. If it was 1-for-1 Deshaun Watson, I would definitely do that, I think, because it's a quarterback or defensive end. But if I have to include first-round picks, I'm not doing that. And the Texans obviously should ask for Nick Bosa because they have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and they should want great talent in return. But I don't know if that necessarily means the Niners have to do it. I think sometimes just a trade doesn't match up. They would have to. You don't have to agree to every trade. It's not a forced situation, and I don't think the Niners would do it.
You have to draw the line somewhere. I'm reluctant to part with Bosa, Kittle, Warner, all those guys. It gets into that territory where you're like, this is where I'm going to go with this, is that if the Texans had their heart set on Nick Bosa and they're like, we want 2 first-round picks and Nick Bosa, how do you say no to that? The name of the game in the NFL is finding a franchise quarterback. I, just before the show, went back and looked at the last 30 Super Bowl winners. There's only 6 quarterbacks that are clearly not franchise quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls. Only 6. So 80% of the time, the Super Bowl winner has a franchise quarterback under center. And that's exactly what Deshaun Watson is. And if you look at the Super Bowl losers, it's no surprise that guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, Rex Grossman, Jake Delhomme, Chris Chandler, those guys aren't franchise quarterbacks. And when it comes down to it, yes, pass rushers can step up in big moments and make game-winning plays, but it's the franchise quarterback that's going to take you to the promised land 8 out of 10 times. 8 out of 10 times. So Nick Bosa and 2 first-round picks for the opportunity to pick up a 25-year-old quarterback who can lead your franchise for the next 10 years? Yes. Preferably no, but if that's the deal breaker, yes.
The fact that the Niners had a top 5 defense without Nick Bosa tells you everything you need to know. Excellent player. Excellent player. But they managed without him. If the Texans had lost Deshaun Watson, they would have won 0 games. Now they won 4. So that doesn't say a lot for him. But I'm still he's a quarterback. And the thing about the reason that I keep coming back to the trade Nick Bosa idea is I still feel that his value is overstated, even though he's excellent. Like Kittle says it all the time. Yesterday he said that Aaron Donald is the best player in the league, number 1. Over and over again, he said that Nick Bosa is number 2, the second best player in the league, better than Mahomes, better than Deshaun Watson, better than Aaron Rodgers. Look, I disagree. Okay, Nick Bosa has a lot to prove before he's the second best player in the league. And I kind of don't think he's ever going to make it to that level, which is, okay, you don't have to be the second best player in the league to be great. But if that's what his perception is, cash in. How many first-round picks is the second best player in the league worth right now on a rookie deal? Mm-hmm. Seems to me if he really is looked at as the second best player in the league, that means he's better than Deshaun Watson, right? So that should get you pretty far. And
Khalil Mack got 2 ones, correct, and a second. So he should get at least
and
that.
People talk about Nick Bosa like he's twice the player Khalil Mack is.
Yep.
People just go on and on about his technique and his pressures and his PFF grade. Great. Okay. How many firsts is he worth? Let's talk. Is Houston interested? Would they rather have him than my first round pick in 2024? If that's how far it's going to go. So, yeah, no, he's not off limits. And if he's worth as much as people think he's worth, he might be the ace up your sleeve.
Yep. And additionally, people forget that he's coming off his second ACL tear. It's his first in the NFL, but even before his collegiate days, he tore it in high school. So how is he going to recover from his second ACL tear? Is he going to be the same player? He sure could, but it's just not a certainty. So when you think of it through that lens, and okay, how much money is he going to want in 3 years when his rookie deal is up? Assuming
Joey gets $27 million a year. That's what Jimmy Garoppolo makes. So Nick's going to get at least 30.
Yeah, and if you think about picking up Deshaun Watson and then replacing Bosa's production with a couple of complimentary pass rushers, it's worth it, in my opinion.
How can you say don't get rid of Buckner but get rid of Bosa? Silly. Well, I felt that they traded low on Buckner That was the 7th pick in the draft, and they got the 13th pick back. If you're trading Bosa now, you're trading the former number 2 pick in the draft for someone whose value has gone up. Even though he's torn his ACL twice, I think you can get more than the number 2 pick for him. Maybe I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But that's why I'm interested, because I feel like his value is inflated because of all these reasons that I don't buy, basically hype and Pro Football Focus and pressures.
And when you're talking about trading Buckner, you got him for a draft pick. Right now, you're talking about getting someone who I feel is a franchise quarterback for the next 10 years.
Yeah, would I trade Buckner for Deshaun Watson? Yes. Would I trade Buckner for Javon Kinlaw? No. Would I trade Buckner for Tristan Wirfs? Maybe. That actually might have been a decent trade in retrospect.